This review is brought to you by Surfshark VPN, but more on that later. Somehow in a week where Gamumon's Dark Digivolution Ghoulish Gamumon made its first appearance, the topic that kind of hijacked the conversation was the anime debut of Black Agumon. Now, despite being its anime debut, this is not a brand new Digimon to the series. There's quite a bit of history and info, so today we're going to dive into everything that's been established for Black Agumon in the past and look at the best theories out there for what it means for Digimon Ghost Game's main plotline moving forward. And then in part 2, we'll dive into the usual episode 14 review and discussion, but Black Agumon was just that big of a moment. It deserves its own segment now that we've had a week to breathe and theorize. Right off the bat, the question you probably want to know is, what is the evolution line for Black Agumon? Is BlackWarGreymon possible for Digimon Ghost Game? Black Agumon digivolves to BlackGreymon in the English localization, but it's actually Greymon Blue in Japanese, Greymon Ao, matching its skin. The Digimon has up until now only appeared in games and technically once in live action during the Digimon Project 2021 YouTube short Be Strong With You. There's also the Blue Greymon in Cross Wars, but it's kind of a different design. Next, we could see Greymon Blue evolve into Metal Greymon Virus, probably best known from the box art for the PlayStation 1 game Digimon World, or from the 10th episode of Digimon Adventure 02. Here things get very interesting because Metal Greymon Virus has two paths forward on the official Digivolution charts. One path leads to BlackWarGreymon, which I think is the Digimon that my comment section was most interested in seeing come from this Black Agumon reveal in Ghost Game last week. Definitely a fan favorite character from 02 and could even pave the way to an Omegamon Zwart D appearance in Ghost Game. Zwart would fit right in with the world of Ghost Game with its tattered and spooky design. My only concern here is that we have to ask if the creators are really going to pursue a plotline related to Omegamon in Ghost Game right after 2020 Digimon Adventure reboot focused so heavily on the base form Omegamon. Anything is possible though. Maybe they revisit Omegamon already. The other known path forward from Metal Greymon Virus is BlitzGreymon, another monster that did appear in Adventure's 2020 reboot. It'd be really interesting to see this character again since it made its anime debut in the 2020 show, but appeared in only one episode and was a little bit lackluster. Many theorized its debut episode was impacted by production issues, and you can learn about that in another video of mine I'll link below. A third option I'm putting forward is Samudramon/Gaiomon. Technically, there's no precedent for Metal Greymon Virus turning into this dark samurai themed take on WarGreymon, but anything is possible in Digimon, and one way to distinguish Ghost Game from the past series would be to give this new Black Agumon a new mega, so it's not BlackWarGreymon or BlitzGreymon again. So now I do want to spend a little bit of time going over the most compelling Black Agumon theories for where we go next in Ghost Game now that this character has revealed itself. Digital Hazard theorized, I wonder if there is some core of Dark Digimon of which Ghoulish is a member. Black Agumon could be watching the emergence of a teammate. This is interesting because it could be possible that a Dark Legion of Digimon, including Black Agumon and Black Tailmon, already exists, and either they are scouting Gamumon as a potential new recruit after what he did in episode 13, or it could be that Ghoulish Gamumon was already an existing member before maybe losing his memory and then meeting Hito as Gamumon, and maybe this legion is trying to get their lost member back to their side or something. Super interesting. The only catch is that Black Tailmon Uber seems to be aware of Gamumon's new life and existence and hasn't really shown to have much problem with it so far, but we still know very little about Black Tailmon's motivation despite seeing it in 3 episodes, so we can't say for sure. Hydroplane and others presented another loose theory, which is that Black Agumon may end up being partnered with a new human character, a six Power Ranger style scenario, maybe a Ken-like antagonist turned protagonist. It's been theorized that Black Tailmon Uber is actually Hito's dad's Digimon, so maybe Black Agumon is partnered with a human we just haven't met yet. Ray and Hackmon in Appmon come to mind for me personally, as well as Ken, obviously. And one more for now, it's a theory I pitched in my episode 13 review, though I'm not even sure I believe it myself. We've seen Black Tailmon/Gatomon and now Black Agumon, so what if as the show goes on we meet Black Gabumon and Black Palmon and essentially get the dark forms of the entire Adventure character cast? Either it's not connected to the past canonically and just a cool callback for fans of the old series, or maybe there's something going on like Ghost Game is connected to the Digimon Adventure 2020 reboot and the Digimon we partnered with in that series have now become corrupted in some way. While I don't know if that's what I even want, it would be kind of cool and bold if 30 episodes in, let's just say 30 episodes in, Ghost Game reveals that this whole time it's been an indirect sequel to another series. Kind of neat if you ask me. So that's part 1, but before we get into the episode 14 review, let me take a quick minute to tell you about today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is an award-winning virtual private network. I've been using Surfshark for over a month and loving it, and I have a bunch of thoughts to share with you all. Surfshark VPN is your own private network that you can use to protect your personal data and info while browsing the internet. It helps you block ads, trackers, malware, all that ugly stuff. But on top of that, my favorite part, Surfshark VPN swaps the real location of your device with a new one, changing your IP address so you can unblock and access content libraries and streaming services services not available in your part of the world. So for instance, Hulu has all of the OG Digimon seasons, but only in America. I can't watch them in Canada. But if I boot up Surfshark, connect to an American location like New York, suddenly Hulu acts like I'm in America. It's so easy. It even works with YouTube, Netflix, Crunchyroll. So all of the big anime this season, Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, it doesn't matter where you are and what's available in your country. With Surfshark VPN, you can find a country that has the shows you want to watch, and voila, you're in. Surfshark hooked up my viewers in December, and they're back with an unreal deal for 2022. It's still the best deal my channel has ever had. If you sign up with my link in the description and enter the promo code DIGINO, you get 83% off and 3 extra months for free. So start your virtual tour of the world via my link and promo code just in time for the winter anime season. Thanks so much for sponsoring this video, Surfshark. Agumon is definitely off after the events of the last episode in which he dark digivolved into his 4th form, Ghoulless Agumon, and we also witnessed the death of one of our central allies, Bokomon. And so I'm glad that we're not just pretending that didn't happen here in episode 14. We are at a beachside resort as Kiyoshiro is attending an academic conference and invited the others to join him. Agumon is definitely quieter, but doesn't truly understand why he's off his game, though as we learn, he doesn't really know what happened last week. He tries a new delicacy and says, "I'll take this to Bokomon to try," then asks where is Bokomon. Well, Hiro says he left for a long journey. It's a really tragic scene and kind of gut-wrenching to know that we're moving forward without letting Agumon know exactly what went down. I just hope it doesn't come back to haunt us if the truth ever gets out. Elsewhere in the resort, a ghost is tossing guests a ball and asking them to play. The hotel staff is aware of a spirit, but doesn't think it's an AR hologram like others usually do. Definitely doesn't think it's a Digimon, just an old school ghost. There's a very cool scene with Kiyoshiro where they use these black and white visuals, almost chalkboard looking, to visualize that which can't be seen, the footprints of the ghost. And I was really impressed with just the artistic direction of this scene. It's not the only noteworthy art this week though. In the onsen, we see that Hiro is kind of jacked, and elsewhere we get to see Jellymon and Rudy's outfits at the hotel are looking fantastic. 11 minutes in, we get the complete out of left field turn moment of the week. Last week was Black Agumon, obviously, and this week is Blacktailmon Uber's 4th appearance, and the most forward facing one yet. It literally knocks on the hotel door and delivers 3 new dim cards, one which contains a new message from Hiro's dad. But it didn't really say too much. Was it just a 3D album to brag to his son, or was it something more? Kiyoshiro asks if that cat, Blacktailmon Uber, is the thing connecting Hiro to his dad through the digital world, but nobody really knows for sure. The new dims weirdly don't play a huge role in the finale of this episode, which did surprise me. But back to this scene, Agumon comments on how much we still don't know about the digital world, and then Hiro theorizes that perhaps we'll learn more the next time we see Ghoulless Agumon. And the others, particularly Kiyoshiro, start to freak out just at the mention of the name. They're treating saying Ghoulless like saying Voldemort. It's the name that can't be spoken within the group. Koemon is the so-called spirit haunting the hotel, and I was overjoyed that this is the character they went with this week. Koemon is an absolute favorite of mine, and it seems he's just looking for the old grandmother who used to keep him company, who one day disappeared from the hotel. Much like Agumon, Koemon doesn't really get what happened to Granny the same way Agumon didn't get where Bokomon went. Kind of pulls at the heartstrings, and this episode being about innocent little pure monsters not understanding where their human partners went was pretty touching, at least to me. Koemon wants to see fireworks, so Hiro suggests going to the beach and having Agumon digivolve to help create some fireworks. The others definitely express some concern that we might get Ghoulless again out of this evolution process, and I know the fandom, the community in my comments was curious if Agumon and Hiro would stop evolving for a bit, like out of fear of what he'd become. And while I think that would have been cool, I do also quite like that Hiro and Agumon are trying to reclaim evolution for themselves, kind of facing their trauma and deciding they want to own their power instead of hiding from it. Like if you were learning to ride a bike and you fell off, you could either decide you were never going to ride a bike again or get back on and try again. And maybe that's kind of cheesy, but I liked them evolving, and in particular doing it to save another Digimon. Koemon is blown away by the light show Battle Agumon and Jellymon are able to put on, and it's very cute seeing everyone in such high spirits, especially after the dark events of episode 13. Koemon manages to materialize, and that's without a human or a vital bracelet present, but it's kind of based on the prospect, the idea of seeing Granny again. So in some ways it's like Granny is his human partner, and it turns out she actually is alive. A nice little fake out that I'm happy with, and he goes on a journey to go find her. So this was not the epic part 2 follow-up to the intensity of episode 13, but it was calming and pure in a way that I think was necessary. Also, generally Digimon and other anime will go absolutely nuts with the animation budget one week and then pay the price in the following weeks with less action-oriented episodes, if they can address it in the writing so that the episode after the big battles are intentionally chiller and just more relaxing vibes, I'm totally okay with it. And that's what episode 14 was, in my opinion. So I did enjoy the episode. Let me know your thoughts on episode 14, on the first half of this video, the whole part about Black Agumon, you know, the evolution potential and the theories, and definitely comment whatever you have to say. Like the video if you haven't already. Thanks again, Surfshark, for sponsoring the video, and everyone, I'll see you next week.